podcast. I'm Jay Peeps.
I'm JC, and it's rivalry week, baby. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
he
We
been
have
waiting on this.
the wonderful Allison Posey here, who is my rival.
It's rivalry week? Is this what we're going with?
Yes.
It's rivalry week. Go ahead and play my song, sir. Play my song.
Already?
Already.
Y'all play.
Oh God.
Listen, with all this hype, and you got the headband on, I'm expecting you to bring it today, sir. Bring it.
I'm ready for you, Allison. I'm ready.
Oh my
Knock
gosh.
out.
She put the ring in your face.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is GP.
This is the Bug.
This is JC.
This is Flash.
This is Denny Hendricks.
And you are listening to
And you're listening to
And you're listening to
And you're listening to the Run and Gun Podcast.
Well, y'all too much, man. Oh my gosh.
She put the ring in the camera to show you she wasn't scared. Wow.
I ain't worried about
You can't
it.
be.
I would expect
You can't
no
be.
less.
Oh my gosh. So here's what we're gonna start off with tonight. First topic, we got HBCUs. FAMU has signed a 6-year deal with Nike and LeBron James. So Allison, I'm gonna start off with you. You've seen the whole thing unfold firsthand.
Yeah.
What's the vibe like right now?
Oh my God, the guys on campus, the ladies on campus, I mean, they are juiced. They're pumped. I knew something, and I didn't know about this before it was going on. FAMU did a really good job of kind of keeping things under wraps. I think it was last Tuesday night when LeBron walked out with the shoes.
Yes.
And a couple FAMU accounts did like the googly eyes with it. And I was like, something's up. Something's going to happen. And then I think it was 2 days later, that Thursday, when FAMU did kind of the big press release, this is the deal that we're doing. So I've talked to a lot of people at FAMU. I interviewed Courtney Gaucher, the athletic director, about it. He said it has been in the works for a long time. And the hardest part about it was keeping things under wraps. I mean, LeBron planned how he was going to walk out with the shoes. He's already done the one video talking about FAMU. I mean, there's a lot of things in the works that Courtney didn't even tell me about. He's like, I wish I could share what we have in store, but get excited because there are a lot of things to come. The gear is going to be up for fans to get. He said probably around July, they're going to start marketing it and you'll be able to buy some of the stuff. So I know you're pumped, but just it's so big. It's so big for FAMU, and it's not just for FAMU, it's for HBCUs. It's the first deal of its kind. And Courtney was telling me, they've been partners with Nike for over 20 years. I think it's 23 years, but it's always been through a third-party dealer. They've never had a direct deal with Nike. This is a direct deal with Nike, with LeBron James, and LeBron specifically. He is very strategic about who he works with. He wanted to work with FAMU. This isn't us begging him, hey, come work. He wanted to work with FAMU. So it's a huge deal. It's a sign of respect, and it's something that FAMU and really all HBCUs should be happy about. I see the haters. I see the non-FAMU fans talking a lot. This opens so many doors. Get excited about it.
I'm excited.
Oh, I'm very excited.
I'm excited.
This is very large for HBCUs, like you said, for the advertisement part 2. I believe they're getting about $200,000 a year for advertisement from Nike for this. And even with the announcement, you see that it's kind of become, let's say, a sub-national viewing thing. Like, sports people know, and it's starting to take a big notice of it. especially when it comes to, let's say, getting prospects. A lot of things are really being able to come out in the view towards HBCUs in general, because it's only announced as this is the first one. This isn't the last one. This is the first one.
Yeah.
So you're right. It should be seen, even though if you're not a fan, as a great thing for HBCUs.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. And you mentioned the monetary advertising, what they're spending on it. Think about the advertising that they're not spending. So when LeBron tweets out a pair of these shoes and it gets retweeted thousands and thousands of times, that's free advertising for the university. And I talked with a couple people from FAMU about that. Just getting the FAMU name and the FAMU brand out there. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they have stepped up their social media game. The videos they're playing, recording. I mean, they're using the Nike and LeBron logo all the time. They're taking it and running with it. And I am so excited about what's to come.
Absolutely.
Right, same.
You can see the plan going into it, because especially now this is coming out around the time that FAMU plays for the All-Star game, Grambling plays the All-Star game, HBCU thing going on for the All-Star game. I mean, this is a huge deal for HBCUs, and it's seeing that revitalization towards national prestige.
I love it.
And I'm super bad.
You mentioned the All-Star game, and I think that's something, I know we're talking about the NBA and the All-Star game a little bit later, but that's something you have to bring up too. If you're a Rattler fan, it has been a heck of a week, because you had the Nike LeBron announcement last week. On Sunday night, the Marching 100 performed at the All-Star game. So again, you talk about brand recognition. Your brand couldn't be more well-known. I mean, it's already well-known as it is, the FAMU brand, but you have been put in a national spotlight twice in 1 week. That doesn't cost anything. And people are talking about you, and they're retweeting images again. I mean, again, if you are a fan of Rattler Athletics, so excited to be a part of it right now.
Yeah, and even with the All-Star game, not to hate necessarily on Grambling State, right? But nobody was really retweeting their intro. Everyone's retweeting FAMU's intro, which albeit was amazing.
100.
It was amazing. Don't give you the. I hate to say it like this, but the coach from Utah is announced while Freaky Girls from Gucci Mane is playing.
Dude, I was sitting there. I'm like, everybody's getting hyped to this, and I was like, everybody kind of. I hate to say it, but everybody kind of was like, forgot about Grambling. Everybody was like, if this had been the HBCU versus, FAMU would have won. And then I came back and I retweeted it, and I was like, well, you know what? You're going to see it live for homecoming, and it's probably going to happen again on the field and in the stand.
What would be interesting, right? Like, not necessarily, you can't do the HBCU thing every year, right? But it would be a nice little tradition to have HBCU bands coming in to play the intros, because those were still very good. It doesn't matter. Like, I've seen and talked to a lot of fans who are like, oh yeah, that's really hype. Like that, it really. And even though the players may not have came out as hyped as maybe the fans were, it was still a very cool thing to see. It was very interesting.
Well, absolutely, and I also think it's such a good thing too, because there's been so much talk about HBCU athletics and should an athlete go to an HBCU, versus a PWI. Again, when the spotlight is on HBCU athletics, like it is right now, when one eats, everybody eats. And when you have certain schools spotlighted, and I've seen so much hate, like, oh, those shoes are ugly, this and that. But again, you have to think about the future. When these athletes see things like this, kids like stuff. Let's be honest. An 18-year-old kid likes stuff. And when you have LeBron James partnering with a university, and FAMU is making all these upgrades to their football facility, beautiful locker room, beautiful weight room, Bragg is getting upgrades right now, kids like that. They like stuff. So the nicer stuff that you have, the more eyes are on you.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of that deal that they have with Nike is that they're having representatives dispatched, which means LeBron, other people, I can't remember their name right now, that Captain Morgan, I don't think I should have did it, but
now the truth comes out.
but
that's what it'll make you do.
These representatives are coming in, right? So there's a chance you could see them, which for some kids, it's like, LeBron showing up, maybe I should think about it. Even if they don't go there eventually, it starts the motors turning. People are thinking about it.
Yeah.
Jackson State gives Grambling its first home loss.
It stays in the national diet.
2015.
Right. I'm off.
Yeah, it happened. It happened. I will give Dion his credit. I will say that defense more so than the offense. That's a very big physical defense. That Jackson
I'm interested to see. Everyone's making a big deal about Jackson State. First of all, Edward Waters was their first win. Okay, yeah. Big whoop. This I'll give it to them, but it's also a spring season. It's been a really weird kind of couple months. If this trend continues into the fall, we can talk about the legitimacy of it. It's the spring. Yeah. It's got to be you've got to continue it.
I'm you there.
I'm going to agree with you because this is I'm really excited about the offense in the fall, right? Because this is their second 400-yard plus game. And I'm really curious to see what the sophomore quarterback, Jalen Jones, right, has to do in the fall and what's going to happen with that going on with a correct year going on.
Absolutely. And I know we're going to the NFL. I want to get one last word in. Their recruiting class this year coming in Jackson State, it's going to be good. And when you talk about eyes on HBCUs, this only puts more eyes on HBCUs. So if Jackson State gets a lot of talent, again, one eats, everybody eats. So I'm excited to see what this is going to do for the future of HBCU football, but also athletics in general.
September 5th, Miami, Florida. We're going to find out. But, now we are onto the NFL. So a couple of things happened really the past 48 hours. Chris Godwin got the franchise tag for the Bucs. Devontae David, 2-year deal. Tom Brady's restructuring. And there were a few other guys that got the franchise tag. You had
Justin Simmons,
Justin Simmons got the franchise tag. Leonard Williams got the franchise tag. There were a few guys that didn't get a franchise tag. I can't remember them off the top of my head right now, but it was kind of shocking to see who didn't and who did. But also, yes, that Washington football team released the NFL Comeback Player of the Year, which I thought was pretty messed up.
It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. You saw what he said about.
He's also the age.
Yeah.
You're getting old. In football years, you're old.
That's true.
The age and the injury concerns are a big thing, and especially with the salary cap going down this year due to lost revenue. So a lot of things are happening, even with the Broncos, right? They have the youngest roster, and there talks about maybe getting rid of Von Miller, depending on how they feel about his option going in. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, especially with age and with the amount of money that some of these veterans are asking for.
Well, you talk about money too, especially in a year where, like you said, revenue is down, so that cap is going to be lower. You really have to start doing kind of like funny math, like who are we going to keep, who gets the, who gets the tag, what are we going to do? It's kind of like a bad math problem. If we keep player X and he's making this amount of money, what else can we do from here on down? So Alex Smith, I get it. It's kind of messed up. He comes off of that horrific injury where he could have lost his leg. But again, he's 37. Move him to a team where he can either be, they need him immediately and he can play for them, or he can go into a kind of a mentorship role. He's got connections with a lot of coaches kind of that are coaching right now. I read some article about how he's got the connection with Urban Meyer down in Jacksonville, because Meyer coached him when he was at Utah many moons ago. So if you move him into that role, because Jacksonville is going to, like 99.99% sure, they're going to draft Trevor Lawrence with that number 1 pick. So if you bring in a guy like Alex Smith, he can mentor him. He knows what he's doing. He's got that familiarity with Meyer. Could be a fit.
And there's even other places like Chicago with Matt Nagy.
Yes.
Right? And
Yeah.
he coaches his coordinator in Kansas City. I
And
mean,
Kansas City, Alex, 2 excellent seasons in KC under him. So that's
Absolutely.
another team you could go to.
Even, and I'll say this as a little dark horse right here, the Patriots, right? And you see that they kind of started a bit of a retool here, getting Trent Brown with a 5th and a 7th round pick, right? It's very interesting to see what's going on around the back end of the NFL. What's going on here?
I wouldn't mind. I would like to see that. The Patriots and Alex Smith.
The wheels are turning. Maybe this is a good idea. No.
I mean, I'm going to be real quick on this. I know we talked about Bill Belichick, and I know you kept asking the question, Pete, about what do we make of him now. Again, down here, not a lot of stuff in the cupboard. A lot of people opted out, and now you're starting to see him start to retool, make some trades, make a little bit of moves, right? Granted, the Cam Newton experiment failed, and we're still waiting to see about what happens with that, whether Cam Newton or not comes back. But it's fixing to get a little interesting. I mean, I'm looking at least 9-7 for Bill Belichick and them boys.
Yeah, I can get with that. I'm intrigued to see how 2021 goes, because now he's getting a lot of guys back that opted out. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. But the other thing I'm looking forward to seeing too is, as far as like who should be the first quarterback off the board. I'm with you, Allison. I feel like it really needs to be Trevor Lawrence, but you got some people out there talking about, Zach Wilson.
No,
got some people
I'm pointing to the wrong way. Where am I going? This guy right here. This guy.
You talking about JC?
Yeah.
Listen,
that guy.
Listen.
He's
gonna say.
He's like this up at the camera, so.
Look, my people over here, right? All I'm going to say is that there are other options, right? Trevor Lawrence, I wouldn't say he's far and away the best option.
But who's the best option then? Who do you go with?
Is there a best option though? Is there a best option?
You could say that about any college player coming out of college. No one knows how they're going to do in the NFL.
In the case of Urban Meyer, is there a best option?
I will say Justin Fields would not surprise me.
Hold on. No, not after this last year yet.
I would take Trevor over Justin. Trevor's got the arm and he's got the body.
But Justin's played in that system through college. But he's played in that system. It's a comfort level coming into the NFL.
It's a comfortable system, but now you're playing against NFL elite level talent. It's not the same. It's not the same. That's why you see so many college players go to the NFL that are superstars in college and can't do anything in the NFL because it might be the same system, it might be a system. No doubt Justin Fields is a very talented quarterback. I don't doubt it. I think Trevor has more potential, though, to be great down the road.
Why is that?
I just think he does. I think he's got better arm strength. I think he's got a better head than Justin. You are about to tear me apart. Go ahead, headband. Go ahead.
I'm headband now. Okay, listen.
I'm not wearing one tonight.
What about the person you're neglecting to mention? Right, the dark horse best option here. Zach Wilson.
I like Zach. I do.
Zach Wilson is I
like Trevor Lawrence better.
From a first pick standpoint, he has all the same things except for the body, right? He doesn't have the body of a prototypical quarterback, which is his only knock on him. Zach Wilson is the dark horse best option. Zach Wilson could possibly be the best quarterback out of here.
He probably could.
Yeah, the arm strength, the highest accuracy in college, right? The only thing that's on him that isn't on Trevor Lawrence is the fact of his body size.
You just have to see if it translates over. This is my take with guys going from college to the NFL, especially at the quarterback position. One, you have to get with a team that's going to run a scheme that fits your style. So that's one. Russell Wilson's done a good job with that with the Seahawks. They've catered to his strengths and abilities, and that's why he's been as successful as he has, because he's short. He's not your prototypical style quarterback, but he's found an NFL team that agrees with him. You have to be with a team, with a coaching staff, and I will always stand by this with Tim Tebow as well. I think he could have had some type of success in the NFL. I'm not saying he'd be like an MVP-style quarterback, but the Denver Broncos were never going to work out with him, and he never had a coach that believed in him and ran a system that fit his strengths. That's the problem. Not even a problem, but just a circumstance, I guess, with college quarterbacks making the transition. You have to get into a program that works with you.
I agree.
Urban loves Trevor. If you watch that Clemson pro day of him, Urban might as well been on top of him the entire time. I mean, he was standing within 2-3 feet of him the entire time. All right, here we go. Here we go. Go ahead, open the door.
Hi, I'm the crush that Allison has on Trevor Lawrence.
I do not have a crush on Trevor Lawrence. I just think that he has the most untapped potential to succeed in the NFL.
It's his hair, Allison. It's his hair.
I wish I had hair that pretty. I ain't even gonna lie.
No, I'm trying.
Now I will say I agree with you. I will say I agree with you on the fact that I do believe that I think if Tebow could have been fixed, I thought his mechanics.
I will always stand by that.
I do believe that. And as far as Trevor Lawrence goes, I mean, look, I can see Urban Meyer. I can see Urban Meyer pulling the trigger on either guy, to be honest. Like, look, you were one of the deciding factors that got Justin Fields to Ohio State. But at the same time, too, Trevor's Trevor. So, I mean, look, it could go either way. It's going to be one of them things. It could probably be a flip a coin moment.
We can agree to disagree on those two prospects, but the one thing we know is that Justin Fields is probably not getting called first, and neither is Trey Lance. I mean, Trey Lance is a high ceiling project quarterback, and Justin Fields, I just don't see it based on his last year.
I do like Trey Lance too, and Trey Lance I feel is very underrated because who have he played for in college? That's the other thing too. Where you go to school, I mean, it can have an impact. It doesn't impact how talented you are where you go to school, because there are very talented guys that, again, have come from HBCUs, have come from non-Power 5 schools. But if you say, oh, I'm from Alabama or I'm from North Dakota State, who are you going to look at? You're going to look at the guy from Alabama. It's just the way it is.
That works better in his favor, because the lower you slide, the more likely you are to get picked up by a team that is decent, willing to allow you to nurture.
You got to knock at the door.
I agree.
It's the third quarter. That's who it is. That's
I know. We're stuck on this. Listen, we're having a good conversation here, okay? We're having a good conversation.
I'm sorry, Miss Allison. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So the first thing for this quarter is, Kyrie Irving had a significant relationship with Kobe Bryant. So Kyrie Irving has been one of the leaders in the clubhouse as far as saying, you know what, we need to change the NBA logo from Jerry West to Kobe Bryant. So how are we feeling about that? Yay or nay?
I'm interested.
I want to hear what y'all have to say first.
There's been talks about
Can I chime in on this at some point?
Go for it.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Most definitely.
What I think is happening is you have generational versus traditional. If you change the logo to Kobe Bryant, then who's the next superstar you're going to change the logo to?
In 30 years.
Correct. when the generational shift takes place. I think this is not a move to make. If you want to honor Kobe, honor him in another way. But you have other superstars who have done just as much for the game that you have not changed the logo to. Like you have, and I'm just taking this as an example, and I'll be done. You have Bill Russell. Bill Russell, to me, did more for the game than Kobe Bryant. But Jerry West came along at a time and he put his own special stamp on it, and nobody complained when they put Jerry West on the logo. I think we're getting caught up in changing everything to suit the generation. Some things you do need to leave traditional because they stand for something and they mean something.
I agree with that.
Are you stealing my notes?
I'll also say something else. One, Jerry West has said before that he doesn't care, so there is that. But two, you have to look at the licensing of it. Everything costs money. There's no license with Jerry West. He doesn't get a royalty from being on that stamp. Would Kobe's family want something? I don't know. But you have to think about the royalty aspect of it too. Nothing is free. So to change it is going to cost something as well. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, we all know how money works. People are going to go with the cheapest option.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can put J Peep's logo on there. It's not going to cost you a dime.
What about mine?
What about yours?
$5.
They'll put your logo on the Washington
with
Generals.
The headband.
Yeah,
with the headband, though, too. You got to have it with the headband.
He'll be representing the Washington Generals.
Hey, listen. All right.
Yeah,
we came close one time. I was there that time. All right.
I'm with you though. I do agree. I really believe that you might as well just keep it traditional. I mean, look, I can agree with the older generation saying that it should stay as Jerry West, because I mean, look, I just, when you change something like that, it takes some getting used to.
Who won the All-Star game?
Team LeBron.
Who cares? Can I say something? Who cares? Who cares? Not a fan of the All-Star game. And I know, like, in our notes for this week, for the show, we had stats and all this stuff. It's the All-Star game. Stats don't mean anything. They're running the floor. They're playing wide open. Stats don't mean anything in the All-Star game.
She is shredding y'all.
Shredding y'all. I didn't write these notes, first of all. Second of all,
you're a team.
I was gonna say
you're a team.
I was gonna skip and go to the thing that Peeps typed out, which was Steph Curry.
Oh.
So we're skipping the All-Star game now. That's how irrelevant it is.
Wow.
Anyway, listen, I watched the intro just for the HBCU band, and then I cut that joint off.
Hey,
Look, I think we can agree. When Team
there's judgment.
When Team LeBron came out, the freaky girl, and the 100 was playing, we kind of already knew. It was like, okay, Team LeBron's going to win. Hands down.
I mean, you had 3 MVPs on that team. So.
Yeah. But let's talk about this, though. So, yeah, Steph Curry won the three-point contest. This was his second three-point contest win. So, who here feels that he's the best active shooter in the NBA? Mind you still got Klay Thompson.
I was about to say he's tied. He's tied in my book. Right?
Tied.
Steph Curry will always be he'll always be a great shooter, right? But you can't forget his splash brother when his splash brother is actually shooting. Right?
Oh, my leg!
I mean, Klay Thompson
don't do that. No, don't do that. Oh, no.
Don't do that. Klay Thompson still has the most three-pointers made in the game. I mean, when he's hot, it's hard to argue against Klay Thompson not being one of the best three-point shooters in the game right now. Don't get me wrong, Steph Curry is hot what seems like almost every night. But when he gets hot, it's not hot to the level of hot Klay Thompson.
Well, I think something you have to think about Steph Curry, though, too, is that he's been consistently like that for a very long time. I mean, he was like that in college. It's carried over to the NBA. Steph has always been, when I think of Steph Curry, I think of three-pointers. I do. I mean, that's just what it is. He's consistently built that, I don't want to say as a brand, but it is. I mean, that's what he's known for. And
but
I think
is he better than Dame Lillard? Is he better than Dame Dollar? That's what I want to know.
Listen, don't drop it. Damian Lillard, if you hear me, do not drop a diss track on me. I will answer back. But What?
Drop it, because I want to hear him answer back.
Yes.
He's fired up tonight. I'll give you that. He's fired up tonight.
He was ready for you.
Absolutely.
That's what he was ready for.
Yeah.
He brought the liquor and the
Steph
headband.
Curry is probably the best active three-point shooter in the generation. Let's say the generation. I don't think I'll ever say greatest of all time because different eras, different games, right? Then you have the Larry Bird argument of Ray Allen, right? So I will say he is the best three-point shooter in the generation. I'll live with that.
Better than Kevin Durant?
Get out of here. Go.
Better than Kevin Durant?
Go away.
Better than Kevin Durant?
I was gonna say, wait a minute, hold up now.
Better than Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant
Kevin
is
Durant.
a prolific scorer.
From everywhere.
Kevin Durant.
From everywhere.
But we're talking about three-pointers.
No. Right, but
does he
he's
specialize?
prolific from either under the basket or from the bench. He can hit him from everywhere.
Okay, but listen, Steph Curry, I don't want to say single-handedly.
Yeah,
That sounds
go ahead.
confusing.
Go ahead.
But I will say Steph Curry has influenced a generation so far with sports. I mean, think about how popular it is for kids to go up and shoot a three-pointer. It used to be the dunk. It used to be the layup before that. I mean,
I will say in my personal experiences having worked after school care in my past, how many times I've told kids, stop shooting three-pointers, you're not Steph Curry. Like that's like common ground. It's literally like common ground everywhere you go.
You were at Villa Madonna. Of course
Well, but
they were
it's kind
pulling
of
for
like,
Steph
I
Curry.
feel like that's kind of like our generation with Kobe, like trying to make it, paper ball into a trash can. It's the same. You talk about generational people for this generation. That's it. Steph Curry in the three, where Kobe, you shoot it, you try to get the paper ball in the wastebasket. It's generational type stuff.
it was Vince Carter with the dunk. I mean, at some point you have to give credit due where credit's due, right? And stop bringing up Kevin Durant and Dame Lillard.
Oh my gosh, we
Fire back.
We in the hot topics right now.
James Harden? Big game James? He's not.
I'm gonna act like I didn't. We gonna jump in the hot topic.
Big game James? Really?
Something interesting that happened.
You gonna do that to James Harden? Really?
That is in the hot topics.
That's why one of your braids is off kilter. Go ahead.
One of my braids.
Oh, talking about you.
Fun fact: these are not braids. But
y'all are personal tonight. I mean, it is personal.
Something interesting that happened today.
His edge is lopsided, but I'm not gonna tell nobody. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh my! See, he's lucky he's not on camera tonight. But anyway, so something interesting that happened today was the XFL and the Canadian Football League are talking about collaborating here. After, I can't necessarily say once the pandemic's over, but once we get the pandemic under control, we're talking about collaborating.
Texas said it's under control. They're open for business.
Oh, and Mississippi did too.
Oh God!
Look at the two examples. Look at the two examples.
Let's not, please. Don't bring up this headache of a thing. But I will say, it's inevitable, right? You were probably going to see that happen eventually because they're trying to match the success and the monetary contributions of the NFL. I mean, it's just so much money that you're trying to get into, right? And you're trying to create a niche to be able to not necessarily compete because you've seen what happens when you compete with the NFL, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel, Commissioner Posey?
I was waiting for him to finish, but I
cut you off.
Commissioner, but I loved the XFL. I know there were a lot of different opinions on the XFL. I loved it. Y'all like really stirring the pot. The pot has been stirred.
You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna challenge Allison just so you can't do that to me anymore. Shush.
Why are you punished?
Wait.
Well, you know what?
Whoa.
He wants you to talk, but I'm gonna say my piece. All right.
Okay, say your piece. Say your piece, and then I will say what I have to say. Go ahead.
Why is it sounding more like a Medea's family reunion than a sports talk show?
God.
In the attempt to match the money from the NFL, you're gonna have people trying to copy the niche, and they're gonna have to work together to be able to try and pull in that sort of money. Now, the XFL. You're right, Allison. I loved it. I thought it was a great prospect. I thought it was a great idea. You know, be able to fill in that niche of people missing football for all those long times from Super Bowl to preseason.
Mm.
Hey,
Oh, he
we
muted
just got muted. He just got
Oh.
muted.
He was
Did
for a
I?
hot second.
Did I? Ain't no way.
What me? What
Ain't
me?
no way.
What
Ain't no
me?
way.
Wasn't me
What
either.
me?
And
Alright.
it also gives the availability for other players to play, and then you see those people, and you see something interesting going on. For example, with I can't think of his name. Oh my goodness! But he got signed to the Panthers from the XFL.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about PJ Walker.
PJ Walker, thank you very much.
That's where I wish almost I wish they would almost run it as kind of maybe like a minor league system type model, and I don't even know if it could be done or the NFL would even want to do something like that. But you're right, it filled in that kind of void of a couple months where we had no football, and America is a football hungry country. So you put it on. They did it right this time by getting those big network deals. I, for one, as a broadcaster, loved the sideline work on it because you got instant reaction from players. I think that added a unique element that you didn't see anywhere else. You know, Vince McMahon is not involved anymore. I mean, it's The Rock now has bought and acquired. I'm sure a lot of the same things will be used. But the XFL has always been innovative. When they did it the first time around,
The helmet cam.
they invented camera angles. I mean, that sky cam was an XFL thing, and everybody else adapted it. So I think that the XFL, it has a lot of great ideas. It has to be fine-tuned. They have to get the money right. But overall, awesome idea. I love it. I want to see it more as a minor league type system. But I think it's great. And I never went to a game, but I know a lot of people that did, that my friends that live in Tampa, and they loved it. It was like a party the entire time. They said it was a ton of fun. And again, it fills that void. And I really hope it's successful. I really do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to a game the second time around.
Mm-hmm.
Other than this, Canadian Football League partnership thing, if they can secure a G League type sort of deal with the NFL where some of the money is passed.
That's what I'm saying. Practice squad guys, or you have practice squad guys, or guys that you don't want to sign to your practice squad that are like not quite there. They need a little bit of extra work. Put them on an XFL team. Get them those reps, and then they can show out.
Yeah. Someone's at the door.
Who is it?
Open the door.
Peter Warwick versus Percy Harvin.
Oh, you took this from
Listen.
I want to hear what she has to say to this.
I'm just gonna say one thing. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. The fact that
Really?
this was even a debate on social media like 2 weeks ago is nauseating. It is Peter Warwick, hands down, 100%, nothing more to say. End of story.
Wow.
That's it.
And I'm
No,
not a
well,
Gators fan. I'm not a Gators fan. But
I'm not
Percy
a-
Harvin was Mr. Everything.
Percy
Okay,
Harvin
listen.
was a great talent as well, but Peter Warwick all day, every day. I will take him all day, every day.
I
We
say
were
it
talking
like
about
this.
this before. Wait,
We
hold
were.
on, peeps. Hold on.
Go
Peter
ahead.
Warwick was doing those types of things in a unconventional style offense that wasn't even suited for his skill set. If he played in a Percy Harvin type offense, oh my God. He
Well,
would have
different
won
eras.
the Heisman
And if he
just
would have
like being
stayed,
suspended.
and if he would have stayed healthier in the NFL, he would have played a lot longer in the NFL. He got hurt. Oh, was it like 5 seasons in? And that
See,
kind of
that's
ruined
what-
it for him.
That's what Chad Johnson was saying. Chad Johnson was saying, yeah, you know what? See, P-Dub was still playing when I got to Cincinnati, and he had a mean dead leg. But he said he tore his knee up trying to do that stuff, and that was the end of it. But I'm like you, yeah. I feel like, honestly, if Peter Warwick plays in 2008 and with the way the offenses have evolved in that time from 99 or really from 95 to 99, if
Late
he had
90s,
played
yep.
if he had played in the way offenses were just beginning to revolutionize, I should say, in 2008, Peter Warrick does the same stuff, if not more. And then the other thing I'm gonna say too is I think it's kind of safe to say Peter Warrick's the best receiver to come through Florida State. I can't really necessarily say the same with Percy at Florida. Percy was a bad dude, no joke. But you got other dudes you need to take into consideration. You got Riddell Anthony. You got Jaquez Green. You got Ike Hill.
Absolutely. Both of them played with extremely talented players because Percy played kind of that heyday, mid-2000s, where Florida won the 2 national titles. I was at Florida when Percy was there, so I used to interview Percy. Like, I know how good of a team that was. Peter Warrick was also on a very talented Florida State team. Percy may not have been the best player on those Florida teams either. You think about all the talent that was on those Florida teams. I'm not even 100%. And Percy is a very talented player, but I'm not even 100% sure he was the most talented person on those teams.
She's so hard on people.
She's right though.
Sometimes the truth hurts. It is what it is.
Oh my gosh.
Like, think about it. Like, how high did you have Percy on your draft stock back then versus like a guy like Peter Warrick on the draft stock? Where was Peter Warrick as far as Heisman voting in '99?
Wait a minute.
Well, hold on. Peter would have won the Heisman in '99, but that's when some of the stuff happened. Again. Yes.
I know.
He would have won I think he finished 6th in Heisman voting that year. He would have won the Heisman had he not gotten involved.
He was a front runner going into the season. Yeah.
Yeah. He would have won the Heisman that year, but other things happened. So, again, for me, no argument, hands down, Peter Warrick all day, every day.
Hanging out with Dion. See? I'm trying to tell you, hanging out with Dion.
Yeah, to be honest.
Hopefully I didn't ruin our chance to get him on the show. But, Hey, this is our wrap-up. I'm going to make sure we thank Allison Posey for coming on. And
I got it.
I'm going to make sure we thank her. And
thank you, Allison, for
hopefully she'll come back next month as well.
Allison, where can
people
find you?
People can find me on Twitter at AllisonPosey14. I'm a one-out Allison, ALISON, POSEY 14. Same Instagram handle. And then I have a page on Facebook. I think it's Sports Director Allison Posey. So yeah, find me, follow me. I talk a whole lot of nonsense, but also post a lot of really cool stuff. So we cover a lot. FAMU, Florida State, Valdosta State, a lot of high schools. So just follow me on there. I got your back.
Awesome.
A whole lot of fun. You're my rival, and I definitely won this game today. So
wow,
I definitely won this game. Wow. Oh yeah,
claiming victory.
You know what I need to do? I need to copyright my little headband license here because you have stolen it twice from me now. Yeah.
Well, he did say during the production meeting, he said, "I'm gonna wear a headband and show her how to look good wearing one." He was saying that during the production meeting.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. All right. Okay, I got you.
All the platforms are listed below on the bottom screen. All of them are at Penalty Talk, except for on.
Ooh.
What's going on, folks?
Oh, what's up? Sorry for the bit of lateness. There's been some technical difficulties, but we are beyond that now.
Yes, sir.
I'm JC.
I'm J Peeps. Welcome to another episode of the Running Podcast.
Wonderful episode for you today. Lots of stuff to talk about. An amazing episode. Lots of stuff to talk about in the